Welcome back, book buddies! Today we are going to carry on reading a book from the Mr. Men, Little Miss Advent Calendar. Let's go! Let's read Day 2. Mr. Tickle Saves the Day. Day 2. Mr. Tickle Saves the Day. What do you think is Mr. Tickle's favourite thing in the whole world to do? Yes, of course, it's tickling. Oh, Mr. Tickle. In the street or in the park or in the shops, everyone who meets him knows that they are about to get tickled. Even little Miss Shy can't hide from the tickles. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Whatever next? Some people think that if they stay at home, they'll be safe from tickles. Well, they're wrong. Mr. Tickle finds a way to tickle them wherever they are. His arms are so extraordinarily long that they can creep and sneak anywhere, even down the chimney into Mr. Slow's living room, where Mr. Slow is sitting in an armchair reading the newspaper. Nothing can stop Mr. Tickle's tickles. After a while, people had had enough. The baker, the ice cream seller, everyone announced that it was exhausting to have to work and laugh at the same time. They had had enough of Mr. Tickle's tickles. As soon as he came into town, bang, bang, they closed their doors and they shut up their shops. Nobody likes me, moaned Mr. Tickle to himself. I don't do any harm. I just can't help tickling people. But it seems that people don't like his tickles, and that made him very sad. Boing, boing, boing. Not far away, a little girl was bouncing a ball that her grandmother had given her. Higher, higher, she cried as she laughed and played. The ball bounced higher and higher into the blue sky and got stuck in the branches of a tall tree. Oh, what shall I do? Cried the little girl. Don't worry, I'll help, said Mr. Small, who had heard her cries. Mr. Small climbed such a tall tree, but somehow or other he hopped from branch to branch. Mr. Small managed to reach the ball. He threw it down. Suddenly, the ground seemed very far away to Mr. Small. Mr. Small began to feel dizzy. He held on tight onto the branch and tried not to look down. The ball had been rescued, but now Mr. Small was well and truly stuck up the tree. Don't worry, I'll help, said Mr. Bounce, who was passing by. I'll bounce myself up the tree and help you down. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Mr. Bounce bounced higher and higher and higher. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't bounce high enough. Poor Mr. Small is still stuck in the tree. Don't worry, I'll help, said little Miss Magic. She raised her magic wand, and suddenly the tree was covered in sweets. Oops. Thank you for the sweets, said an unhappy Mr. Small, but I'm still stuck in this tree. Don't worry, I'll help, said Mr. Strong, and using all his strength, he began to pull the tree right out of the ground. Stop, stop, cried poor Mr. Small. I'm going to fall. By now, quite a crowd had gathered around the bottom of Mr. Small's tree. Little Miss Sunshine had an idea. Perhaps Mr. Tickle could help. Mr. Tickle, she called when she got to his house. Come quickly. We all need you. They needed him? Forgetting his sadness, Mr. Tickle ran to the tree and reached up with one of his extraordinary long arms. Gently, he lifted Mr. Small back down to the ground. Thank you, Mr. Tickle, said a very relieved Mr. Small. I'll never forget how you helped me. And the friends agreed that the very best way to thank Mr. Tickle was to let him give them all an enormous tickle. Mr. Tickle didn't need telling twice, and reached out his long arms round all his friends and he tickled until they were all falling about with laughter. The end. How funny! Thank you very much for joining me again today. Do come back so we can read more books together. Please like and subscribe. Bye!